All right. Hello. Wonderful. Good morning. Espresso is ready. I'm actually just a bit tired. I had a very short night. Late practice yesterday. Wasn't sleeping all too good. But here we go. It's a fresh day. So let's get the watch list for the upcoming day prepared. You can see we finally broken out of that consolidation. DXY. We were looking at this for potentially being the sell off to the downside to continue, which was the less likely scenario. The most likely scenario was just what happened, is that price actually pushed up to the upside and formed some continuation. So this is pretty much the hover we want to play today. So all eyes on the DXY. We're looking for this recovery, just bullish on the DXY, which means we're looking for euro dollar, pound dollar, Kiwi dollar to the downside. I think we do have a very, very clean gauge that we're working with today. Euro dollar is definitely going to be on watch. You can see it. Let me just delete this. There was a daily play, which I guess we've covered in the S&P, and most of you people are already involved in that. With you can crop the stop just a little. I think 30, 35 pip stop loss should be sufficient. Definitely make sure to cover the stop loss above here, so this could basically develop. So that's a daily play available there on the lower time frame. We also had another entry which I covered yesterday. That is this one. No? Well, so this was our first available entry. I was preferring the risk entry at the top. We then only got the reduced risk entry, and I was saying yesterday that if this should reject around this area, personally forming some kind of squeeze in there, I would manage this one aggressively. So I would have taken probably a break even there. However, overall the position was available. Let's box this off. So next thing we got to work with is, as we're trading through here, we just want to have small consolidation on the lower time frames just in there. I think 1 hour chart is way too large for this one. So we're dropping to the M15 and M5 to gonna be looking at this little hover underneath. So if we get this towards our London Open, that is gonna be beautiful. So this is basically what I'm looking for. We're now trading through that low. And I think for a little stack of price just underneath, we're positioned very, very beautiful. If we're gonna get this 10 pip stop loss, should be more than enough. Technically, we could come all the way back up there. So that is my alternative if we do develop a little bit more. But overall, I do think this is the most likely game plan for euro dollar. With the daily play still active, this little hover could confirm that. And yeah, basically this is trade of the day. Pound dollar, not as much. We're still we're in the same area. And technically we're looking at something similar to euro dollar. But this one hasn't really broken out to the downside, and we still run the risk of price rejecting at these kind of value areas. So we got to make sure we break them first before considering a trade. Kiwi dollar also, we've been talking about this one as a hedge yesterday, that there might be a little short-term buy in there. Right now, if the euro dollar moves, I do think it will carry all the dollar crosses with it. So this is beautiful ending structure. This looks like it might come back to the upside once more before selling off, but there are never absolutes in trading, and so this could technically sell off, give us that, and by the time it's come down here, you might see this rejecting, and we do have then this as a little counter. If euro dollar rejects at these kind of areas, we'll get the sell off and get this basically. That's just a thought process for middle or end of the week. Right now, just euro dollar is on my watch list. PVN hasn't really done that much. We're still looking for price to eventually hit the high. So we are positioned right there, looking for this range to play to the upside. And the most safest way to get involved should be either a developed structure or the reduced insurance entry. So basically, there was one available this night, which was out of my time zone, at 1 a.m. my time. We basically have price coming back down and not really taking out this high, but we got this one, so it should be okay. Beautiful little trade there. Now we might have the chance that we come back down once more. So I'm keeping my eyes on this rejection. Either it's going to be like a good 1 hour rejection here, or we're going to use the lower time frames to confirm this move. If we get a little hover here, that's going to basically confirm that. So keep yen also on watch. There, I would cap this one at a 3-1 personally. Give this a little bit more room to breathe. So this is like a very limited range we're playing. So I would call this one a 3-1 and move on. Cut yen not really doing as much. We're looking at the similar play to the upside there, like KBN, but we don't really have like a nice base where we can basically get a trade from. So the question becomes: is this the trade? Is this actually another trade to the downside before rejecting here? So there are multiple different scenarios. Katja not really top on watch. Pound cat is interesting. It was especially yesterday. I was keeping a close eye on this, whether we rejected here, but the rejection in terms of the previous, like this bullish run was too small to take this at the risk entry. So I was looking for this if we were going to pop down and take the reduced risk entry. Right now, the only thing I am interested about is price, basically respecting or not respecting this low. So option one is the push down and the flag. Option two is structured risk entry. Option three might be a little hidden entry there. I do really think this is the most likely scenario, to be fair. Where you get this on the M15, basically 10 pips is more than sufficient. little internal 1, 2, 3 at the top of the run. So that could be our base. It holds a little bit higher risk due to this one. So make sure you can move this one to break even as soon as it touches high, just in case this rejects there, gives us this top and comes back in. And we have another attempt, which is even more confirmed, but you gotta be a little bit careful about this one. And the short is obviously still a thing. So a couple different scenarios here on pound cat. This is always on the cards. Gotta be a little bit mindful about this pair today. GA. GA is actually quite interesting because high time frame wise, I put this pair on watch because we have this gap here and price is very exhaustingly coming back down to this double bottom, which might give me the indication that this corrective part here actually might be middle section for this move to the upside, where actually this becomes 1, 2, 3. We're closing this gap here before we then sell off to the downside. So that is on my mind. It's basically the whole thesis on the high time frame. For this to basically reject here, give us the insurance entry, going to play this range. But we need to consider that we have a low at the base as well. But I don't really think it is active right now. We haven't yet taken out the high at the low. This wick, especially with this kind of momentum, gives me the indication we might do that, and this is going to be our tomorrow trade. So I've got my alert set in there, price scooping back down. Technically, this is forming continuation to the upside, but this looks just very corrective to me. Maybe it's going to achieve that, but I think it's highly likely that this one is going to roll over to the downside. On Kiwi, basically the same thing as pound Aussie. They're running quite similar. Price also hasn't really taken out the low just yet, but it is a little bit more confirmed because this low time frame structure, I would argue, is slightly better than GA, where you at least have this. Confirm that. But I think if pound Aussie comes back down once more, it will carry pound Kiwi as well. So I'd be a little bit careful about taking this as a counter trade just yet when we haven't really taken out in this low before that. So is like the insurance play for this to pop up and give us that. That is always on the cards, and if we get that, we might need to change our way of thinking here. That is always an idea. But I think this comes with quite a high risk due to GA maybe rolling over. Euro Kiwi also not going to be like very interesting today. Just we need a little bit more development in there. Just straight up. Euro Yen is not as clean. I would prefer Kiwi Yen here. I think this has a little bit more of a retest there. If we get that and we can get this retrace, like retest of this at the back end of this area, we might need to consider that. I think this is going to be like a more of a tomorrow play. Then we have silver, which is still on watch or initial position. Now we need to see how we react to this low. High time frame wise, nothing really has changed. Still looking for this as 1, 2, 3, at least into this high. Preferably this hovers through it and just breaks it. So silver is technically very, very, very bullish right now. You can size it just like so. I wouldn't try to get like a risk entry due to the sell-off in this last leg and price not being very structured. So I think the game plan is as follows. We just wait for price to give us that little push and a little hover to confirm our buys. And once we're back in structure, this is where you can get like pretty aggressive. Then we basically have everything confirmed. So that's going to be in watch. The Aussie 200 was looking quite bearish by the start of the week. We're looking at this continuation, which basically did what it was supposed to do towards its 90% rule, but then we retracted. We get these kind of structures, which are usually the first indication we might move to the upside. There was this entry like during swaps. Now we really push to the upside. The short bias is out of the way. And we might need to give this a day to find its feet. Preferably forming like something like that. Which then becomes, we might be retesting this as well. And this might be counter trend flip. I really like those counter trend flip. Basically have this 4-hour structure which doesn't really commit, starts to hover around a little bit, then rolls over to the upside, and this becomes a big scoop, and we can take advantage by taking this hover in here to at least into these highs. So that's going to be like very interesting as well. I think, yeah, let's put this one on watch today. So we have this one, we have silver insurance entry, we have pound CAD. Very, very interesting pair today. We have Kiwi Yen potentially to the upside, and we do have Euro Dollar giving us that little hover underneath. So a couple of different scenarios. Very, very interesting trading day. I really hope this one helped you preparing yourself for the trading session ahead. Hope you're gonna be having a great day, and I got to see you tomorrow. Take care, trade safely, and stay focused.